Welcome guys, it is Championship Racing. This is the final round of this BMW E30 M3. We've come to Zolder for a late afternoon race. The format is 2 races of 10 laps with the starting positions being determined by a 5-minute qualifying. Sit back and enjoy how this race pans out. And here's alongside Vince, a privateer representing Vince Mintz. Row number 2, 4th place is Bruno Silverback Racing. He's alongside Jakes, our Ninja Racing driver, in 3rd place. And the row number 1 is filled by Tosco, same stable, different teams. Gerard from Tosco 2, he's in 2nd place, and pole position is Scholl from Tosco 1. So we wait for the green lights, final round of this championship. Race number 1 of the 2 race events, and Jakes has got a great start coming off the line. He's put himself between the 2 Tosco drivers. So Jakes, he goes into 1st. Scholl's in 2nd with Gerard in 4th. Bruno coming around the outside of Gerard as they come into turn number 2. So Jakes leads with that looks like Bruno's gone up in the inside of Scholl. So Scholl now coming off the line in 1st place. He's currently 3rd, has got a little bit sideways. Well, he's gone off, coming out of turn number 4. Little contact between himself and his partner. To the front of the pack we go. Jakes leads, Bruno 2nd, that's Ross 3rd. Gerard is in 4th. Marius, he's currently in 5th place, having moved himself from a 9th position. Down through turn number 6 to prepare to go through turn 7, the chicane. Oh, great move there by Gerard, moving on the inside of Vince. Unfortunately, Vince losing his line there and having to go through the chicane. Vince now unfortunately losing out 2 positions with Marius and now going ahead of him. Hard on the brakes into turn number 8, tricky hairpin. And back on the power to prepare for turn number 10. We jump on board the cockpit of Vince. Vince making his return here to Sarco Racing. Well, big oversteer moment for Vince. Coming out of the last corner. Cross the line to begin lap number 2. We just take a look at the current positions. Jake leads with Bruno 2nd. Gerard, he's in 3rd place with Marius 4th. Vincent 5th. Dylan 6th. Scholl down in 7th place with Colin 8th. Ross in 9th. That's Durkee in 10th and Rudy in 11th position. So in shot our Scottish international Ross getting a little bit sideways. Really starting to close that gap up on Colin. Moves to the inside just to show that he's there. Through Clay chicane. Oh, that's Durkee really hitting that chicane hard. You can see those ballots flying all over the place. Through turn number 6. Oh, a little bit sideways there for Dylan coming out of the chicane. So Scholl really starting to put pressure here on Dylan. Scholl moves to the inside, makes it a very easy overtake in the end. So Scholl moves himself up into 6th place and Dylan is down to 7th. The race leader Jakes, he comes out of the last corner, crosses the line to begin a lap number 3. Jakes is having started in 3rd place, got a great jump off the line. He won the race down into the turn number 1, managed to get himself through both Gerard and Scholl, and now he's currently leading with Bruno 1.5 seconds behind him. Bruno goes past, Gerard goes past, Marius goes past, and in shot Vince coming into Klein chicane. Once again, he too attacking that chicane very hard. Down over the hill through turn number 6. Through this very tricky chicane section here, turn number 7. So further down the field, Ross is starting to put pressure once again here on Colin. Coming into turn 8, Ross had a little look on the inside, but pulled out at the last moment there. Big oversteer there for Colin and for Ross. They'll now be side by side coming into turn number 10. Looks like Ross has got the advantage on the brakes, and Ross will take that position from Colin. So currently the battle for 3rd place has Marius starting to close that gap down on Gerard. We see Vince just a couple of seconds behind him. Hard on the brakes into Klein chicane. Marius extremely close behind. Let's just jump on board with Marius so we can see what it's looked like. Hard on the barrel. Gerard's gone a little bit sideways. Marius has to try and go around the outside. We'll jump back to trackside. Vince really starting to close the gap on these two into turn 8. Oh, Vince getting a little bit sideways. You see in shot there at the bottom of our screen, that's Jakes and Bruno. In the background there we can see Charles. He is starting to close down onto this pack. So as Jakes crosses the line to begin his 5th lap, Jakes leads with Bruno 2nd, Gerard is 3rd with Marius 4th, Vincent is 5th, Charles is 6th, Dylan 7th, Ross 8th, Colin is in 9th place with Dirk in 10th and Rudy down in 11th position. So coming out of a first corner into the second corner, known as a Sterrenwachtbock. Gerard decided to pull a little gap away from Marius. Marius just touching that dirt coming out of that exit. Onto the brakes. Oh, big air for both Marius and for Gerard. Lap number 5 and Bruno's close up right behind Jakes. Exiting out of turn number 7, they'll head down the hill to the sharp hairpin at turn number 8. Hard on the brakes, turn the car in, back on the power, trying not to let the rear slide out. So Jakes still leads with Bruno in 2nd. Gerard, he's in 3rd place, Marius in 4th, Vince in 5th, Charles 6th, Dylan 7th, Ross 8th, Colin 9th, Durkee is in 10th place with Rudy in 11th position. Cross the line to begin lap number 6. So back to the middle of the pack with the action. Gerard started to pull away from Marius, but Vince, he's started to get right up behind him. Coming out of turn number 3. Then hard on the brakes, turn it in for Lucien Bianchi. Much better this time for Marius. Didn't do the aerobatics he had the previous lap. So that's third, fourth, fifth and sixth. All within 2 seconds of each other. Big power slide there by Vince coming out of that corner. Not sure whether Carrot had a little bit of a slowdown, but that's put Marius right behind him. Marius having a little look on the outside, turn number 8. Marius has been able to make that move stick. He's now currently on the inside as they prepare to go into Jackie X. So Marius, he moves himself up into third place. Carrot is now fourth. A little contact between Marius and Carrot coming out of that corner. They are now 3 wide. Vince goes through. That's a Scholl right on the inside now of Marius, going into turn number 1. Marius having a little bit of a power slide there. Vince currently in third place, ahead of Scholl in fourth. Marius now in fifth, with Gerard in 6th place. Marius right on the rear bumper of Scholl, who cuts that inside corner. That allows Marius to get the run on him, going around the outside to prepare for the Klein chicane, or side by side into the braking zone. Oh, Scholl's got it sideways. Marius goes into Scholl. Oh, contact once again. So Carrot seems to be able to have gotten away after that contact with Marius, unfortunately coming back across the track. So Carrot is now in 4th. See Dylan, he's now up to 5th place. Scholl's down to 6th, Ross 7th, Dirkie 8th, Marius in 9th place. So just want to jump back to Scholl. He's got Dylan in his sights. Coming into turn number 8. Scholl really getting as close to Dylan as possible to prepare to go into the next corner. Will he be able to make a move on him? No, Dylan is able to fend off the attack this time round. We jump on board with Scholl as he crosses the start-finish line. Very good line there by Dylan, managing to hit that inside apex. A lock up there by Dylan, tightens up the front, back on the power. Scholl's looking for a gap. Well, Dylan a little bit slower through that section than Scholl, coming through turn number 4. Now for turn number 5, Klein chicane. Dylan getting himself a little bit airborne. It didn't really impact his momentum coming through the chicane. Oh, Gerard's gone straight, coming through the chicane. I'm not quite sure what happened there. The only thing I could think of is that he hit a false menu, because I don't think he would have been going fast enough to have locked the brakes and gone straight on. Scholl looking for an opportunity, coming through turn number 8, extremely close. Just want to jump track side as they prepare for turn number 10, Jackie X. So Dylan leading this battle. So Dylan comes out of the last corner in 4th place, a Scholl in 5th. That is a Ross in 6th. Dirkie, he's up into 7th place, coming through turn number 1. This middle pack is starting to close up. We'll take a look at the current positions here on lap number 9. So Jakes, he leads with Bruno second, Vince is third, Dylan fourth, Charles is fifth, Ross in sixth, Dirkie is seventh with Morris eighth, Carrot down in ninth, Colin in 10th place, and Rudy in 11th position. Whoa, big air there by Charles, going through a clean chicane. Into the chicane at Tillenbosch. Big oversteer moment there by Dylan coming out of that corner. Dylan goes defensive, moves to the inside here for turn number 8. So Dylan holds the inside, a little nudge between Dylan and Charles. But now Charles sets himself up for the inside for turn number 10. Dylan giving him a flash to say well done. Outsmarted him, and Dylan tucks in right behind Charles. So Charles will cross the line to begin lap number 10. On the board with Dirkie. You can see his teammate Charles. He places Hedwell. Ross oversteers. Ross runs himself wide. Dylan has a little lock up going into turn number 1. Turn number 2. So Dirkie moves to the inside. He will move himself ahead. You see in the background, Marius, he'll start putting pressure. Oh, Dylan's run himself wide coming through turn number 4. So Dirkie goes by. Oh, Ross and Dylan touch. Dylan goes off into Clan Chicane. Over the hill, Dirkie comes through that in 5th place with Ross in 6th, Morris 7th, and Dylan down in 8th. Quickly a jump to the leaders. There's Bruno having a look on the inside. Coming out of the last corner, side by side. Jakes, he will win the first race, but unfortunately his time penalty will put him second. So Bruno will win. Vince will come home in 3rd place. Charles in 4th. Dirkie 5th, Ross 6th. Oh, a little change in positions there. So Marius is now in 6th with Ross 7th. There's just a jump there. So Ross will come home in 7th with Dylan 8th. Carrot in 9th place with Colin in 10th, and Rudy further down the field in 11th position. So it is now time for a race number 2. In 6th place we have Dylan, 10th is Colin, Morris is in 9th place with Rudy 8th, Ross he's in 7th position with Dirkie in 6th, Jakes he starts off in 5th place with Vince in 4th, Gerard he starts off in 3rd place with Bruno 2nd, and Charles is once again in pole position. So as we wait for the green light to go off here, race number 2, the final round for the BMWs, and Bruno's got a great start coming off that line. So little contact between Jakes and Gerard. But Bruno's through first. Oh, a little contact between Dirkie and that is Vincent. Unfortunately both of them are going off and coming through turn number 1. So Bruno leads with Charles in 2nd, Gerard is in 3rd place, Marius in 4th, Jakes 5th. And that looked like Rudy in 6th place. Oh, that's Ross. He's collided with Jakes. So unfortunately Ross just losing it and Jakes going straight into him. Dylan hitting that curb very hard. He's put himself sideways. Unfortunately Colin collecting him. Dylan just getting out of the way. So Vince goes past. Dirkie goes past. There's Ross. He too now will go past. And both Colin and Dylan will rejoin the track. So we go to the front of the pack. In shot the race leader Bruno.
He's exiting out of turn number 9. Charles is currently second with Gerard in third, Marius is fourth, Rudy in fifth place with Ross sixth, Dirkie is seventh, Vince down in eighth, Colin ninth, Dylan in 10th, and Jake's in 11th position. Across the start finish to begin lap number 2. On board with Gerard coming into turn number 1. With Charles getting it nice and sideways, but still very in control as he went through that corner. Into Sterrenbachbocht. Bruno starting to put away a little bit of gap away from Charles. Into turn number 3. So unfortunately we cited this a little incident with Dylan touching the inside curve, losing the rear, locking up and straight into the wall. So approaching a Klein chicane. Whoa, Gerard getting it a little bit out of control there as he got into the brakes. So that's Rudy taking evasive action to go around him. There goes a Ross and a Dirkie. So Gerard now, he unfortunately from third place, he drops down into a 7th position. Dylan really has been battling with this car after that contact, getting it all wrong into the wall, and that's unfortunately the end of his race. So Charles has started closing this gap here on Bruno as they cross the line to begin a lap number 3. We'll take a look at the positions. Bruno leads with Charles second, Morris up to third with Rudy in fourth. Ross is in fifth place with Dirkie in sixth. Gerard is in seventh with Vince 8th, Colin in 9th place, Jake's in 10th, and Dylan unfortunately retiring to the pits. Dirkie is starting to close the gap and put a major pressure here on Ross halfway through this lap number 4. Just ahead of Ross, that is Rudy. He too is going to start getting some pressure from this pack. Into the braking zone here, Klein chicane. Great line there for Dirkie going through Klein chicane. And Gerard, he's also now starting to reel them in. So soon we'll have a 4-way battle here for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th position. Well, Ross taking a little bit of a tighter line there. I'm not too sure whether that will result in a slowdown. But Dirkie is really putting a major pressure here on Ross. He'll give them a little flash. Ross obviously tapped the brakes to slow down. Dirkie saw him doing it and managed to move to the inside. Coming out of turn number 9. We'll see there in 4th place is Rudy with Dirkie now in 5th, Ross down to 6th, and Gerard in a 7th position. Looks like Rudy, he too got himself a slowdown penalty that allows Dirkie to cross the line and move himself up into 4th place. Oh, there's Ross and Gerard both going off. We definitely would need to see what happened there in that braking zone. So I'm still not entirely sure, having looked at the replay. What it seems like is that Ross got into the brakes, realized he was carrying a little bit too much speed. Instead of taking out Rudy, he straightens out. Gerard then tightens his line. Gerard will then just clip Ross. That will send Ross the other way, and Gerard will unfortunately lose the rear and send him for his own little spin. Race leader Bruno, he exits out of turn number 4. Charles unfortunately having a drop back a bit, having been within half a second. He is currently down 2 seconds as we watch Bruno going over the hill through turn number 6. There's normally some ballads in the middle of that, the second part of that chicane, which are no longer there. Which to me indicates that the guys have got that line wrong and have gone straight through that section. Turn number 8. So Bruno starting to pull away. He is looking very comfortable, having won the first race, even though he had finished behind Jakes. A time penalty on Jakes' time had unfortunately dropped him down to second place, and Bruno was crowned the victor for that race. So we jump to the back of the pack. We're looking at 9th and 10th place. Ross trying to get a slipstream on Colin, but Colin moves to the inside to go defensive, preparing for turn number 1. But Ross manages to go around the outside. But sideways for both Ross and Colin. But at the end, Ross has made it an easy overtake. So Ross will move himself up into 9th place, and Colin, fortunately, he drops down into 10th position. 7th and 8th place. Vince and Jakes, oh, big air there for Vince. Coming through Klein Chicane, lap and number 5. Over the hill, turn and number 6, and hard on the brakes into 7 through the chicane here at Tellenbosch. This is the second race for Vince back with us here at Sarco. Unfortunately, Vince had moved house in the earlier this year and had major issues with getting his fibre up, but now his fibre sorted and Vince is back in the action, challenging with us here at Sarco. We're looking at a 5th and a 6th place. Rudy starting to get some pressure from Gerard. Remember then, Gerard had a little spin earlier in this race. Gerard was lying in 3rd place. Rudy from Synergy Racing is really looking well here. Gerard's got a great line there coming out of that corner. Through turn number 4, Gerard moves to the inside. Rudy's gone a little bit wide. He's touched the dirt that sends him straight across the track. I'm not too sure whether there was contact there, but he did seem to have kept it together. And as you can see, he has lost a lot of ground off Gerard. Race leader Bruno exits out of a turn number 10. He crosses the line to begin a lap in number 7, and the positions are Bruno leads with Charles in 2nd, Amaris is 3rd, Durkee is in 4th place with Gerard in 5th, Rudy in 6th, Jakes in 7th place with the Vince 8th, Ross 9th, Colin in 10th place. Just want to jump on board here with Bruno as he exits out of turn number 3. Then here into this tricky turn number 4. Hard on the brakes here at Klein Chicane. We've seen many cars getting some air coming through the chicane section. Up over the hill here at turn number 6. Then it's a right, left, back into a double right-hander. This section is called a Tellenbosch. Then another little hill section similar to turn number 6 over the hill. Hard on the brakes, 100-meter mark. Turning in turn 8. The slight kink here is turn number 9. Then 75 meters hard on the brakes into turn 10. The chicane known as a Jackie X. And Bruno will cross the line to begin a lap in number 7. So Bruno will come down the main straight, cross the line to begin a lap at number 8. Bruno leads with a Scholl second, and Morris is third. Durkee, he is fourth with Gerard in fifth, Jake sixth, Vince seventh, Rudy eighth, Ross ninth, and Colin in 10th place. We see some positions changing there. We'll need to go back and have a look there. Taking a look at the positions, I see that Rudy had a drop down. I just wanted to see what happens. You see he loses it coming out of turn 8. Jake's narrowly missing him. He goes a little bit forward. Vince goes to avoid him, and he unfortunately loses it and puts himself into the wall. And we see Vince, once he gets going, is all over the place. This car is clearly damaged, so Vince here unfortunately will have to retire. So back to the front of the pack, coming near the end of a lap at number 8. And Bruno, he still leads, but Scholl is starting to close that gap ever so slightly. He's getting himself within 1 second of Bruno. Scholl having started on pole positions for both the races this evening, and unfortunately has not got a win in under his belt just yet. Across the line to begin a lap at number 9. So coming through turn number 4, that is Durkee, currently in 4th place. Just behind him is his Tosco stable driver, but that is Gerard in 5th place. Same stable, different teams. So Durkee's with a Tosco 1, Gerard with Tosco 2, getting himself some air, hitting the inside of a Klein chicane, up over the hill. That's Morris in 3rd place, having just gone out of the picture. Morris, a teammate to Bruno, really will be racking in some points here for this race. Up over the hill into the braking zone here, turn number 8. A little bit of a power slide there by Gerard, getting that power on. The rear not getting enough traction and just sliding around. Coming out of turn number 10 and down the main straight to across the line to begin the 10th and a final lap here in this season. A 6-race season with only 5 of your, a little power slide there by Durkee. Only 5 of your points counting, where we drop the lowest points, which just helps with any disconnection issues so that you're still able to remain competitive in this championship. Back to the front, and Bruno still leads, coming through turn number 6. Scholl was really attacking those chicanes extremely hard. Just see how that car was bouncing through that section. The shoulders started to get extremely close here to Bruno. Into turn number 8. Will Bruno be able to hold it together? A little oversteer there from Scholl coming out of turn number 8. I'm sure that will ease the pressure here on Bruno coming into turn number 10. So Bruno is through turn number 10 safely, flashing his lights. Bruno will cross the line for a double win here this evening, with Scholl in 2nd and Morris will finish 3rd. Durkee will come home in 4th with Gerard 5th, Jake 6th, Ross in 7th place, Colin in 8th, Rudy in 9th place, and Vincent and Dylan both retiring. So now that the 6 races are completed in this championship, we're able to take a look at the final driver standings. Ash from the Captain Boys, he manages to sneak into the top 10 on 62 points. He's just behind Jacques from DNA Racing on 87. 1 point ahead of him is Duppy from TTR, Duppy on 88 points. 6th and 7th is the Tosco 2 boys, Louis and Gerard. Louis finishing in 7th place with 121 and Gerard on 129. Marius from Silverback Racing, he finishes 5th on 146 points, and he's behind the Tosca 1 driver Dirkie, just missing out on the podium. Jakes from the Ninja Racing team, he's in 3rd place and first part on that podium on 172 points. The silver place goes to the Silverback racer Bruno in 2nd place on 232 points. And the winner of this championship goes to Charles with 268 points, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 victories in this championship. It puts him right on top. Well done to the 3 podium winners here in this championship. Onto the team standings, and a total of 18 teams entered into this championship. Galaxy Racing in 18th place with Team Wasted in 17th, chasing Beavers down to 16th place. Tosca 3 in 15th place. Vince entering as a privateer, he finishes in 14th position. The Lone Ranger Ronaldo, he finishes 13th overall with Turbos and Bullets in 12th place. The Fad Muckers in 11th with Decal Racing in 10th place. Green Mumbers on 9th behind Team Synergy in 8th. DNA Racing finishing in 7th place. The Captain Boys finish in 6th with the TTR drivers in 5th place. Ninja Racing Jakes, they finish in 4th place with a Tosco 2 in 3rd, Silverback Racing in 2nd place, and the championship winners for this constructors is Tosco Racing 1. Thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that video. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you can be notified on any new live streams or videos that have been posted. To find out more about the racing, you can follow us on our website, join us on Facebook, or join the conversations through our Discord app to get up close and personal with the drivers. We have one last race for this championship. We will be in the Renault RS01 on the 6th of December, so don't forget to join in to tune to that live stream and watch the replay that following weekend. So our championships will be coming to an end, but do not worry, we are already working on our race calendar for 2019, so we can bring you some more close racing action here at Sarco. We hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching, yos.